Hello, and welcome back to the Pez and Pork Show. Today we just have the Pez Man and myself. We do not have a guest with the new time, and that is okay with me. Hello and good day, Mr. Pez.
You're right, Kelly. How's it going?
Going well. I can't complain. Had a good day.
Are you sure?
Watched this morning, or I tried to. I was a little sick after watching the Cowboys. I tell you, they did not look well at all on the offensive line. 3 starters are out. The defense looked lost without Diggs. I don't know what's going on with them. How was your football weekend?
Really good.
Yeah.
In my home league in fantasy, it looks like I'm going to pick my first win up. So nervously waiting for these 2 games to be over with tonight, so I can get that one in the books. And the Seahawks looked like they were going to make things difficult in the first half, but then came out in the second half and made the adjustments what we wanted to see, and then comfortably just destroyed the Panthers. And that stadium was loud. I don't think I've heard that stadium that loud in such a long time. It was good to see again.
There's a lot of excitement in Seattle. Yes, it's nice to see. Seattle's a good place. I used to live in Washington State. And Seattle's a great sports town, loyal fans. It's always good to see the Seahawks perform well. Even they are not one of my favorite teams. It's nice to see them perform well. So, the first order of business we have today, of course, is the breaking news. A trade between my Cavite Porkers and the too small. The Juggernauts.
Is it the Crew Juggernauts?
Yeah, the Crew Juggernauts. So we have the new RB1 Gus Edwards of the Baltimore Ravens and the rookie phenom Puka Nakua heading to the Porkers for DeAndre Swift and Drake London and $200 in FOB. And so we are going to hear from Craig first. What does Craig have to say about the trade?
So it's the set in the same division, in the same league as well?
I'm a little nervous to find out.
DeAndre Swift, well, I am so dead against DeAndre Swift this year, but, numbers talk, and Drake London, he's got to, he's an elite receiver. He's got to come good. And the FAB's neither here nor there for me, to be honest with you. The FAB means very little, and I think anyway. To if I spent 400 of mine this week, but we'll talk about that later, I'm sure. Pork's getting the Gus bus. He's on the choo-choo train. He's on the Gus bus. And yeah, you have to ask yourself for how long though, because he's not got a history of being fit as the Gus bus, has he? And he's given away London. If we split it up one at a time, forget the FAB, and you say, well, Swift and Gus Edwards. To be honest with you, at this moment in time, I'd probably take Gus Edwards, given the fact, as you say, he's the only fit running back there. And I'm not a fan of Swift, and I think when Gainwell comes back, he'll then be slotted back in there again, I think. But Swift has been a very good case for himself. And Puka will have his good weeks, but he'll have his quiet weeks. Drake London already had a couple of quiet weeks, but I mean, he's a target. He's going to get. He's an elite receiver if Cup comes back, and he's had the most targets, but he's had the most targets in 2 games for a rookie in the history of the NFL, I believe. He was tied for it, and he did get in at least one more because he got 6. He tied for it at 16. So yeah, Puka's he's a good pickup, but I'm looking at the bigger pick, looking at the fact that it's a marathon, not a sprint. I think Drake London will do better than Puka down the road. I think Gus Edwards will do better than Swift if he stays fit. So it's one of those ones. It's I think that Wales will come out very much on top, because I think the Gus Bus will go down injured. And as you say, when Cup comes back, if Cup comes back, Puka will start slipping a little bit, and he will have his quiet weeks as well. It's not going to all be like that. Whereas Drake London will come on. The problem isn't Drake London. The problem is the Ridder. But you've got to think the more he plays, the more he's going to come into a game.
We'll go ahead and go to your assessment here, Pez. What do you think of the trade? Don't hold back, my friend.
I don't. The concern with Puka Nakua is because saying that, whilst we're on Puka Nakua, from our last episode, I need to hold my hands up and say, I was just like, no, 49ers are going to destroy him, and he got more targets, more points, more everything against the 49ers. Yeah. I think overall it's good, because I don't know how you've managed to convince this guy to take Swift, Drake London. Is it because of the money? Because anyone with eyeballs, like I played Kyle Pitts for 3 weeks. Like anyone with eyeballs knows the Falcons, you just don't want to touch them unless his wide receiver group is solid. And DeAndre Swift, I think he's going to find out tonight when they play that Gainwell's probably just going to go straight back in as the RB1. Maybe did enough in that one stretch, but they might just want to use him more sporadically because of like his injury history and stuff. Why like burn him out when you've got Hurts who runs, you've got Gainwell who looked good, he looked good. So I think you might then start seeing a real bad rotation. So Gus Edwards, he went out of a concussion, did he not, this weekend?
I think so.
See how bad
I know he
that
left with
is.
the injury. I'm not sure what the injury is.
I think it was a concussion, if I remember rightly. So we'll see how bad that is. But really, on the face of it, like from week 3, yeah, I don't know. The 200 fab, I'm a bit new with the whole fab system and how much you use when it comes to like how important it truly is. Yeah, I've not used it too much myself, but I think you've got a really good deal on your hands here, because even when Cooper Kupp comes back, I don't think it's going to be a case of Puka Nakua. I think he's going to take work off Kupp, not the other way around. Kupp's not going to take his work down. I think if anything, he's going to eat into Cooper Kupp's, because even when he comes back, they're not going to rush him back. What's the point? Like if he comes back and you've got a rookie who's doing what he's doing on less money, you're going to essentially burn the rookie out and get Cooper Kupp fully healthy, because he is a more valuable piece, essentially, isn't he? So I think on the face of it, you've got the better deal in my eyes.
Appreciate that. It took us a bit of haggling to get here, just on my thinking of why I made the trade. I do like Drake London, but as any of his owners know, in week 1, I think we got 0 points from him. I'm not a huge Drake London fan. My team after this week is 0-3. So I'm thinking, let's shake it up. Let's go. Let's do something different. I'm thinking Gus Edwards and DeAndre Swift will end up being a push at the end of the year. Swift is always injured. The Philly offense, they like to use multiple backs. So I'm going with the exciting Puka Nakua. Let's do it. Rookie of the year. So,
yeah,
Johnny, do you have any thoughts real quick? I know your voice is not there. If you want to give a thought, that's okay. If not, we can move to the next segment.
I prefer what you got, to be honest. Edwards is the number 1 running back.
Was it Kenyon Drake who came and looked very confused of what he was meant to be doing?
Yeah, well, he caught the ball. At least he ran the right way. So, but yeah, Puka Nakua is just, even if and when Cup comes back, he is still going to get the targets.
I'm happy with the trade.
Like I say, DeAndre Swift he'll be the backup again. Or a change of pace. Obviously, they'll give it to Gainwell. He proved it. And Drake London, well, did he do any catches last time?
I don't know about week 3, to be honest. I have not seen his week 3 stats.
I'll see if I can pull them up quickly.
But I think he maybe had 1 or 2 catches, but not.
Yeah, he didn't do.
So it was not another pretty.
Because it was a Kyle Pitts targeted game, and Jonnu Smith targeted game. Yeah, he got 6 targets, 2 receptions, 31 yards.
Yeah, 31. Yeah, so 4 points, maybe, I guess, 5 points.
Jonnu Smith got more targets,
so
more
not a lot.
receptions, and more yards than him. Like,
Oh, my.
I think you've robbed that guy. The more you look at it and the more you think about it, I think you have, like, I don't know what negotiation you actually did there, because I just had a quick look on my league in the Orkney Bowl, and 200 fab, unless backup, like if Pollard went down or something like that. I don't know what your free agents are like, but
Well, he
there's
paid
literally-
448 for Puka, I think. So he did not have any fob left.
Why is he traded? That doesn't make sense to me then, because if you paid that much for a player, just keep hold of him. Because again, I'm not too big into the whole fab yet, but there's a few RB2s out there. But I look at my list and there's nothing on them lists where I'd be like, I wouldn't spend any money on them unless there was a big injury. So yeah, I don't see his vision without seeing his team as well. I don't see why he's even.
Well, he has a solid team, I think. I think he could definitely afford this trade. He could afford to lose Puka and Gus and not be hurt at all. I basically did this to kind of shake up my team. It's 0-3. I do think Drake, he could be somebody that could go on a tear starting in any game. He really could. But if it was a dynasty league, perhaps he might have a better. Drake London would have a higher value. But I'm okay with it. But I think DeAndre could also end up having a monster year. Miles Sanders did not have a bad year last year. I think a top 10 back with the Eagles. So, all right. So I think generally most here the consensus here is that the Porkers has a slight edge. However, we never know how Drake might turn out the rest of the season, and DeAndre can certainly have a breakout monster career year.